Welcome to episode
Welcome.
61. Woo! Who's here?
Woo!
Shane's here. Will's here. Lisa's here talking about exciting stuff in the comments. Peter's here. I would love to get BBM on. I'm sure you like him because you like the Four Horsemen stuff.
I do like the Four Horsemen stuff. I was very sad about that going away.
Even though it's gone. Am I quiet? Are you quiet?
No, everything sounds normal to me. Maybe you need to turn your volume up.
Right. But I feel everything's quiet.
Morning, weird? Richard.
Richard's here. All right. Ooh, 905's here. Good afternoon. Morning.
Morning, Chris.
And BNS Reptilia. All right. Snake apocalypse. I want to know how BBM deals with bot flies. You know, they have a lot of bot flies down there. And they're my least favorite thing in the world. Yeah. Probably.
They fucking suck. Flies are my nemesis right now. I freaking bought frogs for my kid and then, like an idiot, didn't buy flightless fruit flies to feed him. And every time I feed those bitches, a few more flies go into my house.
Oh, God. All right, Jana. Let's get into the 15 minutes of lame this week. Also, this is a Not Safe for Work podcast. We still get downvotes every week. I'm assuming it's because you love normal podcasts. Why are you here? Leave now. Shoot.
Whatever. I take it as a compliment. I mean, the people that are getting those immediate couple of downvotes, they have arrived.
I just don't understand it. Or they're like coming in because they think it's a YouTube video, like styled like a YouTube video with,
it says like fucking podcast in the name and the banner.
About the most benign topics too, like the Japanese rat snake fun. So many downvotes.
Do we want to get into the contest first, or do we want to talk about Shane first?
It's always the contest first.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Just talk me through the website change because it's different now.
Yeah. So the website changed. Many of you have noticed and messaged me about it. So there was a bot hack attempt on the contest like there was last year. We don't know who put it on or whatever, but there was a bot attempt. And so in order to protect the contest from future attacks or cheating or whatever, the website had to be changed. So every time you log in to vote, the pictures are randomized because what the bot does is they program it to like go in and like vote for like the first spot over and over again or whatever. And so if they're randomized, then it's much harder to code a attack on someone and vote for the same person over and over again. Mm-hmm. I think that's what was said.
Was this all discussed in the contestant chat?
This was all put into the contestant chat. So I'm just regurgitating information. I don't actually know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so that's why it looks a little different. And then he took off the percentiles so that I don't know, people are less inclined to cheat. I'm not sure why that was taken off, but it had something to do with protecting the integrity of the contest. Mm-hmm. And
without the percentiles, it's a little less fun to me.
It's a little less fun for me too. Okay. He's posting it's in fine. The chat weekly where everybody's standings are. Mm-hmm. But no percentiles in the chat even, or like vote numbers. So we don't know. I don't know. It makes it's harder to be excited about it. Yeah, because you can't see the percentiles and stuff. And so
look, Pico's is here. Lindsay. And Marshall.
Hi, Marshall. But you got to do what you got to do to protect it, and it's his contest, so he gets to do it how he wants. Mm-hmm. Just grateful to be included.
Yeah, I just thought it was news. New news.
Yeah. Okay. So, sad news today, guys. The assistant's called in sick.
Oh no.
Oh no. I mean, bitch even had a doctor's note, but I have a really good idea, okay? So, I mean, bear with me here.
Wait, stop. Sick as in mastitis? Jana.
You're thinking too hard. Shut the fuck up. You're ruining my joke.
Okay, keep going.
I can't take you anywhere.
Okay. Are you answering the phone? Okay.
Yeah, just shut up.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. Hi, Courtney. Yeah, my assistant's called in sick this morning. I know. What a cut. So I was wondering if I could borrow yours. Yeah? Okay, thanks. Bye.
Wow.
There we go, guys. All better.
Can he stay the whole time?
You can.
Yeah. I'm glad we have this guest, this special guest.
A special guest. He's here to assist us. Any of our marketing needs, if you drop a rat, he can crawl under the rack and get it. It's really helpful, guys.
Thank you.
And special thank you to Courtney for allowing me to borrow
the assistant, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, good. I'm glad he's here. Thank you, Stephen, for joining.
He's not allowed to talk because he's just an assistant today.
Right, that's right.
So
he can go get coffee or whatever. Lattes. Oh gosh, Bods came in. Hi, Bods.
Hi, Bods.
And DTMG Pythons. Listen, we got a better assistant now.
Yeah. So actually, the real story is, guys, I actually am sick and on antibiotics, and for some reason I cannot stay warm. So I even have like a blanket. I'm got my heat turned up to like 78, and I'm freezing my ass off. So you're gonna have to deal with this assistant today, but they will hopefully be all better and back next week. They're not actually sick. I'm sick.
Karashay's here. All right, that's pretty good. 10 out of 10.
But yeah, Leviathan's gonna help us out here because they're winners.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about the just recap real quick the debates that happened?
Yeah, so there was
week?
the second debate on Snakes on the Fat Man Live, and I kicked everyone's ass. Need we say more?
It was much more entertaining than the first one.
Right.
Does that count?
So Chris basically told us if we didn't come out and make it a worthy show, that he was gonna like slaughter us all and disqualify us. And no, he didn't actually say any of this. He just said, can you guys at least try? Because the last one was fucking brutal, and it kind of was. Nothing against those people. Like it's just something that's never been done. There wasn't like a format, and people were kind of unsure. And the whole of this contest, people have just been so kind to each other, and it's become like this little inner community, and we all are like cheering each other on and excited. And it's not like this cutthroat contest, and like the stakes aren't like worth being mean over, you know what I mean? Like, so we've all just been like super nice to each other. And so I'm not surprised how the first debate went, because that's how the contest really has. I mean, like that kumbaya circle jerk has been the whole contest. And so he was basically like, none of that horse shit, or I'm going to kick you out of the room. So we came out, and I mean, like some of us talked beforehand because we are a bunch of nice people, and we were like, apologize in advance, but the gloves are coming off. And it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I wish I had done a little more like planning. I did a little planning before, like had some jokes written down and stuff, or some burns, some roasts. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of people who want to see like a top 3 debate, but Chris isn't willing to do one. And then there's a lot of people who want to see like a Academy Awards type thing for all the people that have participated, because only one person wins. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk Jessica into hosting something. We'll see. Look at her face. She's like, bitch, you did not discuss this prior. Why do you got to
I
say
don't
this
know
shit
if there's
live on the
time to
air?
do a debate before.
Oh,
the
no, I
voting
meant like
ends.
an awards, like after the fact.
Awards? Like shittiest attempt at voting award, or you know what I mean? Like
Funniest
best
real, best real, best
But
best
Chris
in
wasn't willing to
debate.
do that.
I don't know. We'll see. If he isn't, I think it'd be really funny to do it in the new year and just like have that person in the waiting room and just like pop him out for a few minutes and just for fun.
On
We'll
one of
see.
his lives. Yeah,
I don't know if he's going to.
I don't know how
We'll
it
have
fits
to see.
the format, because his lives are just like separate from his show. I don't know.
We'll see if he's willing to do it, but
there's some other people
hi
who
Stone Age.
joined.
Hi Adam.
Crest,
Hi Buckner.
Hi
Tammy.
Reptiles, Kaiju Reptiles,
Kaiju. Woo.
Vanilla, and Stone Age. Welcome everybody. So I thought you did great on the debate. I came in late.
Oh, good, because I came out real weak sauce. I was going for like confident and like succinct, and I was like, yeah, because I'm awesome, basically. And it just like fell on the floor and was not well received. And then Leviathan followed it up with like this eloquent, we're the best, we are the champion, like amazingness. And so it just kind of looked lame. But after that, I was like, fine, I'm just gonna fuck everybody up in the room.
I don't know how to tell you how to do this correctly, because obviously
there is no roadmap, but it was a lot of fun. Shane, hey, we were just about to talk about you.
Oh my gosh, they're back. I thought we scared you away last time, buddy.
Supreme geckos.
I love them. They're so so their community I'm just jealous of. I feel like they have like the best community. Like whatever we have is lame, but Supreme Gecko, check them out. 12 Days of Christmas if you want to have fun. And Shane's here. Shane's getting ready. This is time for a Shane sponsor spot. He's going to his first show.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
We've talked about it all the time, and we're talking about it again.
But it's really happening tomorrow. Here's
the deets. Farm Bureau Expo Center. Will there be cows there? That's my only question. And then all the information that Shane's posted a lot. Apparently it's a hot dating opportunity. Married, unmarried, swinger, polyamory. We don't know.
We accept all kinds here. And apparently so do they.
Yeah. At the Show Me Reptile and Exotic show in Nashville. So
Supreme Geckos, this will be the first time he is vending.
Yes.
So
even though he's like been around for a long time, he just decided to give it
if you're like, within 6 hours of driving distance, you have no excuses. Get your ass to the reptile show.
I know. What are you guys doing?
Get your picture with Shane. He says he would be taking pictures. Mm-hmm. So come bring your monies, buy his geckos and his hoggies and his balls, and then get a picture with him. So it's gonna be awesome. I wish that I was close enough. I would totally go just to get a picture with Shane.
And we have maybe, because I had a sort of middling show me show in Oklahoma. This one is a good one. Lots of good vendors. They actually have a USARK auction, which mine was so small it didn't have a full vendor list. So this is like a fully realized show me show. Top of the game. Please go. Oh, he's a sponsor too. Did you know?
Yeah, he is a sponsor. He is the sponsor of 2022. Do we want to go into 2023?
I don't know. We finalized stuff.
I just mean that we will be taking on some new sponsors in 2023. If you've reached out to us and we haven't gotten back to you, reach out again. If you are interested in being a sponsor, email me, not Jessica. She's busy. So we are taking on a couple new sponsors, and Shane will still be the OG sponsor. He's not like throwing us under the bus or anything. He still loves us.
Maybe he should. I don't know.
jury's still out, but for now he still loves us and will continue to sponsor us into 2023. But we are going to be taking on a couple more sponsors for the whole back rack. So if that's something that you're interested in, just send me a message and we can chat about it. But we're only going to be taking a couple. So if you're interested in it, don't wait, because the spots
right. We don't want to
gone.
like blow your ears out with 500 sponsors.
Right.
We know Sean Bradley loves having all of his holes filled, but we only want a certain number of holes filled. You know what I mean? Sean, buddy, he didn't know what Snake Road was the other night on his live. That was wild. It's okay. It's okay. He doesn't know what it was, but it just goes to show, like, you could have the weirdest deficits in what you know, even though you know a lot of things. The most random thing in the world, you could just accidentally not know. It's fine. Bless your heart. What are we doing now?
I was picking Steven's nose. That's what I was doing. I'm sorry. He's a very distracting assistant.
Well, he probably like crinkles when you poke him. Does he crinkle? Oh, yep.
Oh, he's like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Woohoo! Yeah, it's fun.
All right. So that's it for like opening stuff. Next week, Shane will be on to tell us how this Show Me Show went for him. And I told him he had to go like find hard numbers, like door numbers, talk to people who've been that show more frequently and ask how they think it's happening. It's so close to Christmas.
It's like real shit.
It's so close to Christmas. I was like, this is painfully close to Christmas.
The audience is getting restless for their
frog stuff.
Porn.
All right, let's move on to frog porn. But
really,
next week it'll be Shane.
Next week it'll be Shane. He'll be on the whole episode with us, and he'll be talking about what it was like, the things he learned, the things he'd like to do different, the things he felt like he did right. Maybe he'll critique our vending episode about, you guys are idiots and didn't give this advice right, or it'll be great.
Yeah, don't forget your this is something we did forget. What's it called? Cash that is counterfeit. Counterfeit cash markers.
Oh, the marker. Yes.
We didn't talk about it. I have one.
One of the other vendors has one, and I was like, damn, that's smart. Because our last Portland one, there was counterfeit money being circled around, and somebody had that pen and found it, and they kicked the guy out.
Yeah, that's illegal AF. The feds are coming. So I have markers. We just forgot to talk about it, but like that's something to think about. If you don't have markers, it's fine, but you got to look at all the like security strips and the little imprint and all that other stuff. Okay,
I'd rather just color on it.
Are you ready?
Well, Shane, you better get to the store and get one.
Yeah, they sell it at like Office Depot type.
I was going to say places. Like Staples or whatever. Yeah.
All right. So we all went to kindergarten, right? Jana, did you go to kindergarten? Yes.
Yes.
We learned about...
And I only went one time, guys. I promise.
We learned about the frog life cycle because this is like the easiest for children to understand about the metamorphosis of an animal. Because if you're like, oh yeah, this dragonfly nymph runs around and acts like a little raptor in the stream and then it transforms into a dragonfly, that's a little weirder than a frog, because we all know like a frog, an egg, a tadpole, frog, right?
Yeah, when we were kids, we used to catch tadpoles and like put them in buckets and stuff and watch them, like how they didn't die. I have no idea, but they were like in, what's the thing on the side of the road?
Like a ditch?
A ditch. Thank you. I don't know why my brain is not giving me words today, but they were in the ditch. So bucket isn't that much different than a ditch. But if you've never seen a frog go through its life cycle, it's really fucking cool.
It is cool, but it's also boring because we all know about it. So we're skipping most of this.
It's not boring. It's fucking cool.
We're specifically focusing on the production of fertilized eggs, which is everybody's favorite part, I think.
Oh, yeah. Let's fertilize some eggs, everybody.
But all of these parts are actually really cool. And I actually was going to do salamanders too. And I'm like, there is too much cool stuff with sexy frog time. So we're just focusing on frogs and just focusing on the mechanisms of how you make a sexy frog baby.
Yeah.
Sexy frog stuff.
Richard just put in the comments, this was dropped on Gumbo this week. Hot take. James was laying it down. The female snakes have.
Wait, it's in our news.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
Didn't you see it everywhere? It was like the most exciting thing that happened on the internet. It was on Reddit. It was on The Guardian. It was on the BBC.
Oh
everyone
my gosh.
Ecstatic.
James broke the internet, everyone.
It wasn't. The first time I saw it was posted by Corn Snakin. And then it just spread from there. It was really exciting. All right. So Jana, you know that frogs make frog noises. Is this correct?
Oh yeah. Sweet music.
So not all Anurans do this, but many of them do.
Swiper, no, swiping!
Right. Swiper's here because there will be males, mature males that are actively calling. And sometimes there will be satellite males that are in the bushes waiting for a female to be lured in by the sweet, sexy sounds of the larger males or the more active males calling. And he will grab them and lure them away instead of the calling male. And it sounds like that's sort of stealing, sort of like sneaker males and fish or birds, but it's not quite that because sometimes they take turns. It's not a zero-sum game.
I think in the human world, we call that kidnapping.
Well, this is...
and then trigger words to follow. I don't know. I think I'm frowning upon the satellite male thing.
Well, sometimes, so it's not a zero-sum game because sometimes it's the same males. They'll call one night and then they'll be like, I'm kind of hungry. And then they will be a satellite male the next night. But so they'll take turns based on like the energetics of their body and the.
So it's not a satellite male. It's like wingman.
It kind of is because
no, the wingman has to do the calling that night. And then the other guy gets the girl. And then take a turn being the wingman another night.
There's a whole social dynamic to who's sneaking. And some of them don't call at all. So they would be a true swiper, no swiping
who's
type
sneaking
situation.
And peeking, if you know what I mean, everybody.
But the females are attracted even on the most petite little squeaks of a call to a slightly deeper version of that petite little squeak. So they want a larger, more robust male. But they're like,
oh yeah, ladies, come on down.
Right. But it could be like
this is frogs after
the most
dark.
effeminate little squeak, but just like a slightly less. Right.
I hear what you're laying down.
Yeah. So this is a chorus, but we're not talking about that because that has its own, that was like a 2-hour discussion about how complicated this is. We're mostly talking about the baby making.
Whoa.
So in frogs, amplexus is where the male grabs onto the female. Because of 99.99999% of them do external fertilization, he's just holding on to her, waiting for her to go to wherever she's going to oviposit. And so he can fertilize her eggs externally.
So this is like
sexy?
Fake doggy style. He's literally just like hanging out and making her do all the work where she's going to lay her eggs. He's like, bitch, please, you drive. And they're not actually even getting it on?
We'll go into there's some further details, but most frogs do not actually get anything on. The males have...
You guys are getting this fresh off the cuff. I did not cheat and look.
They have nuptial pads and sometimes extra... Yeah, it's sexy. To hold on to her even tight. It's like a rough surface. So a lot of times when you're looking at frogs, you can flip males or females. You can tell which.
I'm so disappointed in you.
You can tell which ones are boys or girls just based on the presence of nuptial pads, even if they're not in breeding colors. So if you flipped over your frogs and they were mature, that's how you would identify them. Besides the hump of their back or whatever, which is a dart frog difference. A lot of times they're depositing the eggs in water, but sometimes they're depositing them in a foam nest on a reed or into I don't know, a water droplets in a bromeliad. Sometimes they deposit in just moist soil if they're a desert species. But there are many choices. this isn't really what we're talking about. It's the
Shame.
amplexus.
They do not get to call it doggy or froggy
I already
style.
did it. It's froggy style.
It's not froggy style because they're not actually having sex. He's just giving her a back hug. It's cuddling. I think so
it's froggy
upset.
style.
It's no.
Just wait.
Get the fuck out, man.
So this is like the Kama Sutra of frogs, and each frog doesn't do all of these. They have like a preference per species, but the position is important and is relevant to how they do it.
Oh my gosh, is there one that's like sitting on her face?
Kind of the head one.
All right, I could get behind some of that.
So in 2016, this was breaking frog news that there was a new kind of sex position, which was the hanging straddle or dorsal straddle. So he hangs near her, doesn't hold her on the same branch. He blows his froggy load on her back. He leaves. She has a back baby batter that dribbles off as she lays her eggs, and that's how they're fertilized.
Oh yeah.
Is this sexy yet?
This is hot.
2016, breaking news.
Yeah, put that baby batter on my back. That's right. Now
All right.
it's getting good.
So amplexus is such an exciting time. Sometimes there's misfires, Jana. Sometimes
It happens to everybody. It's okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Frog.
sometimes they jump on the wrong species, and that doesn't work out, but they just really want to jump on something. But sometimes it gets worse. Sometimes it's the wrong order. This is, for the audio people, a frog jumped onto a spotted salamander. Looks like a pickerel. Maybe a leopard.
Love is love.
Sometimes they're on the wrong. This is a fish. This is a toad on a fish.
Love is love.
Love is. Oh, all right.
Hearts, not
What about a
parts.
slug? There's a
Hearts,
frog.
not parts, man. Don't judge. We accept all kinds here.
What about a human's boot? 368 million years of evolution. And
He's not hurting anyone. He's not hurting anyone. He's allowed. Don't judge.
And when you're in the field and it's like the sexiest time of the year, and you go to pick up.
Hi, Gerald. Forward motions here.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I don't know why you came to this one. Sorry, but it's gonna be the worst. All right. So in the field, when you're like checking out frog action in the springtime, which is the most exciting time to check out frog action, they'll amplex your hand.
We said it wasn't safe for work.
No, it's so not safe for work. So just be careful if you're triggered by being amplexed by a toad, because the toads especially are very vigorous in their attempts to find anything vaguely female. I've even seen them, though I couldn't find a picture of them on like a tennis ball that fell into a pond. They're like, that counts, right? It's good effort. They'll form mating balls with the female in the center, and then an ungodly number of males are attempting to amplex that one female. So it's a
gangbang for frogs.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The problem is usually the female dies because she'll drown. So I don't like every year I find a female something, and you're like, dang it, you guys were so committed to the act. You've sort of nullified whatever.
Did she have her eggs first, or does she die before she can lay them?
Yeah, usually before. And you'll be like, you drowned her 20
Party foul with the gangbang, guys.
20 hours ago. So this is dangerous, but there's too much, excitement in the air, too much desire. And if a female doesn't have mature ova, she can actually do a procedure where she will sneer and say she has a headache at the frog who's attempting to amplex her. And then he is supposed to let go. So she was probably doing that, but there were so many other dudes that no one could tell she had a headache. And
no one could tell she was dead, man. Party foul. This is not cool. We accept all kinds here, but not that kind.
Right. So in the, I don't know, maybe I'm
if you're gonna
sometimes
I
will extract a female.
You have to have hand signals, okay?
Yes, please do. Yeah,
hand
that's
signals.
a good point.
Okay.
But you can go and you can extract a female from like clearly a non-consensual mating ball situation and just like go run away quick. So sometimes I'll do that to be nice. Or like if it's the wrong species, because you often find like, so like, I don't know what happens in Oklahoma because it starts earlier here, but like wood frogs breed early, but like American toads will breed at the same time as green frogs. You don't know any of these frogs. So sometimes they'll be like latched onto each other and you're like and so I will play God and divide divinely the non-consenting partners from the consenting partners.
You can't do that, man. You're judging them.
I know, but
also natural selection. That might be a key. So just stop it. Stop playing God. Also, your husband's in the comments letting everyone know what the party line will be, guys, when the cops show up. She was like that when we got here, officer. All that come on her.
If the toads say that.
Like that. Wait. I learned something new and I forget what it's called already.
Did you actually learn it then?
Soggy biscuit.
Is there right context?
We were in the chat and somebody said you got to give up your hobby of like soggy biscuits or something, and they were like, Google it, and it means like it's like a frat thing where you like do your business on on some toast or whatever, and you go around and then like the pledgeons have to eat it. She's like the soggy biscuit.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know what she is. She's like not sloppy seconds, but like sloppy 15ths or something.
She didn't use her safe ribbit. I love it. Thank you, 905 Royals. That was classic.
All right. Do you remember that dumb picture back on the frog Kama Sutra where they were like both fat and stupid looking? This is a drill down on this. Their legs are too stupid and their bodies are too stupid and their little heads and faces are too stupid. So they can't actually amplex each other. So they've evolved to glue each other together. Because look at these little legs. They're not holding on to anything ever. They barely hold himself up. And she's, thick girl. Right?
But donkey.
So he has to like jump on her and they both excrete glue and then bind each other together for 3 days. So if
you just gotta jump and hit the wall and hope you stick.
Right. And sometimes they'll stick weird. Like there's in the paper, people should read the paper. There's like the procedure of how they unstick. And so they have to like roll over the top and like, but they're like little round balls of frog. It's actually the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but I also love it. But this is one of the other exciting ways.
Quirky snakes. Big girls need love too. Coming from a big girl. I may not look like, because you guys always see me from like the tits up, but I'm a plus size girl, and we all need love, and we're also a lot of fun. Just so you know,
right?
Big girls are fun too.
Stamina, Jana, very important. So in this case, the female, these are Central and South American. They're actually toads, but they look kind of like frogs. They will meet up with a dude. He will amplex her, and she can carry him for up to 125 days. He doesn't eat. She has to carry his fat ass around. And somehow this species continues. I think that's impressive. They're not actively... She just needs his sweet baby batter, so she needs to grab him while she can. And then she heads to the stream where they're waiting for like a random rain event, and then they just hang out. But in this paper was great because they're like, sometimes we just find females just dying. They have a male on their back. They're skinny, and we're like, what are you guys doing? And they just won't let go of each other. They're that committed. What
do we call this in humanese? This is like the guy that doesn't have the job, who just sits at home and is like, where's my beer, bitch?
Like scumbag Steve.
Yeah, scumbag Steve.
They should put a little hat on him.
The scrub can't get no love from me, hanging out the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. Sorry, go ahead.
Now, sex reversed inguinal amplexus. Also breaking news. They weren't sure what happened in the end, but in this paper, a male and a female frog were met. This is the Laos leaf litter toad. And she jumped on his back. First time. Thousands of frog species. This is a cowgirl. That's why she has a hat. Girl on top. Slow clap, everybody. And they never saw all the positions. So she
billions of years, and they've finally reached.
So
we can get this clitoris stimulated better this way.
Well, we don't know if frogs have clitorises.
Jessica,
is the whole
Jessica.
Point. But listen, he leads her away. She jumps on his back, and even though she's bigger than him, she is whisked away like a romance novel. And they don't even know what they do when they go to their destination because they haven't observed that yet. So they could like do a position switch. But as of right now, he carries her away like a wedding nuptial event.
He's a fucking gentleman. That's what he is.
Yeah.
This is the real romance shit here.
These are Chinese frogs.
That's right. Let me carry you over the threshold, and we're gonna go find some privacy and have some real fun.
Right. I love it. I was impressed. Breaking news, 2021.
This is the leaf litter toad. I'm into it.
All right.
Whoa,
tail frogs, Jana.
What did I just see?
Man.
Whoa.
Do you think that's a tail?
Yeah. It probably is, but it's more fun to think it's a penis.
Suspiciously, this is the range for the tailed frog. This is the location of Jana.
Suspiciously,
I think there's like a vortex of suspicious frog activity around here.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. That's right, guys.
So a long time ago, they thought the tail was indeed a tail.
Oh,
and then one day, we figured it out. Jana, can you read this statement?
Van Dyke reported that the turgid tail can only be applied to the cloaca orifice of the female and not inserted into it. This statement is contrary to our observations that the entire turgid member completely inserted into the female. Oh, yeah.
Wow. The entire turgid
Don't worry,
member.
I will quit my day job, guys.
So Server decided it's actually like an extension of the cloaca that's acting like a penis, but isn't a hemipene or a penis. It's just a cloaca modification. So they're doing amplexus, but they're also doing copulation. So they made up a whole new word in their weird frog pervert world called copulexis, which is, copulation and amplexus. And this is breaking news. Jana is the center, the center of
the entire turgid member does not completely insert into the female. Bummer, everybody.
It does.
Oh, it does.
Is true. Yeah, it does. They thought it didn't. They thought it was just like poking around the rimming, if you will. Oh, but it actually is inserted. Whoa. And here's how it happens.
The teasing is over, guys. It's happening.
Right. We actually have penetration at this point. And internal fertilization only happens in frogs like a dozen times.
Starting to worry that this was going to be all foreplay.
Oh, well, we don't know how happy they feel while they're, cuddling, even in normal
too hard,
amplexus.
Jessica.
All right. Here's what happens. He comes up to her. Sometimes she rolls over. And he's like, that's fine. Right. So he can flip her back over. He grabs her in like a normal inguinal amplexus, which is around her waist. Then he does this weird, kinky 60-degree angle business where he drops down below her butt.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is very, biblical here. He flips on. They do like venter to venter. So it's basically missionary
style. Whoop, whoop. Also,
wow.
Just a little to the left. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. This seems very nice, actually, based on everything else. And
they can even like frog flick each other's faces.
Right. I don't know if you have to read this one sexy, but there was been debate for hundreds of years
Noble
about
1931 and Noble and Putman 1931 found spines on the male's erect tail, but dismissed a stimulatory function because males seem to be motionless during copulexis. Copulexis? Is that how you say that? Fuck. Just say copulating. Anyway, however, we found that the males are active during copulexis, performing thrusts and kicks. Ooh. Thus, spines on the tails of males, ascosophis, potentially may stimulate females during copulatory courtship. Oh, yeah. You heard it here first in 1931.
How many thrusts and kicks did these people watch is what I want to know. Yeah, so they have some sort of like nubs and excitement that they thrusting of these little frogs that look like this. Little people. It looks like little people thrusting away.
So, for those of you in the back that need that translated from scientific ease to Jana ease, ribbed for her pleasure.
Right. Correct. So I have one last question, Jana. Based on all the information we learned about amplexus, how does Kermit and Miss Piggy consummate their relationship?
It's ribbed for her pleasure.
You think he's a tailed frog?
Yes, I told you. It's riveted. It's riveted for her pleasure. That's right. And also, Miss Piggy's a dirty slut, and she likes it.
They got a divorce or whatever, but they supposedly had kids. So I just want to know.
I'm telling you, don't judge. Don't judge.
I'm not judging. I just want to know. Did he like?
Look at Steven is stunned. This information, we might have needed to like censor and cover his ears.
I know.
I don't think he's ready for it.
It looks pretty.
Steven, are you ready for it? Oh, I'm sorry. Here. It's okay. You're gonna be okay. Don't worry about it.
So anyway, all of that was very fun and thrilling. A tingler, if you will. But
there was tingling.
Right. The point is like the winter time is time to reflect on like where you're going to go herping next. So I've been like thinking about it, and you have to like pre-memorize a lot of the frog calls. So pre-memorize your frog calls, everybody. Find your vernal pool locations. It's going to be an exciting spring. And in the south, the spring starts in like February. So we're almost there anyway.
So if I do come to Arlington, does that mean you're going to take me herping for the first time?
Oh, fuck. Well, you're the one with the penis frogs nearby, so you should go herp there too.
I should penis frog herp, and then I could take a video, and you guys could all see penis frogs.
Yeah, that would be exciting for the world. All right, did we ruin everyone's day? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, sorry guys. Was that too much? I can't tell. I was having a lot of fun.
Talk about snake clits in a second because it's news technically.
Comment below. Was that too much? Was that funny? I can't tell because I had a lot of fun. Maybe that's all that matters. But you guys should matter too. So consent.
I'll just never forget that turgid member.
Willing participation. Let me know in the comments below where you fell in that range.
All right, Jana. So are we doing news?
Also, if you're in the comments, subscribe. Come on, help us out. Share it on your Instagram. Tell people that you're here so that we can get those subscriptions up. They are climbing nicely. We would love to hit 1,000 because then we can do more fun stuff. We get like options on YouTube open up to us. So help us out. Thanks.
Yeah. Let's do a little bit of news. We'll talk about clits here in a second.
Oh, Steven can't talk about clits, so he'll have to go in timeout if we talk about them.
Okay. Well, first we're talking about Josh's frogs because it's relevant. So they're doing voting for their grants for field research on frogs. Have you voted yet, Jana?
I haven't, but I am about to go do it after this.
So if you go to their Instagram, link is also in the show notes for this episode. You can pick which they've already like designated which ones get some money, but you can pick ones that gets like the I think the larger prize pool, and it's all field research on frogs or education about frogs. So I voted, so you can vote too, everybody. Speaking of voting, USARK is doing a fundraiser voting thing. So you vote for the pictures for their calendar with $1 per picture. USARK Florida specifically. And so you can vote or submit pictures for USARK Florida. Check it out on Instagram. But they obviously need help. Florida does. So go ahead and vote. Donate a little bit or donate nothing, but submit a picture and then make people help vote. Now on to clitorises. Did you read the paper or did you just read the...
You have to warn me. Steven is family friendly, guys. Come on.
I don't think Steven really is, though. I think that's all a deception.
I'm sorry, Steven. You can go home. It's okay. Courtney, I'm going to give him back now. He's been scarred a little. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, continue.
Did you read so you never read the news reports, you just heard it on Reptile Gumbo?
Yeah.
Okay. Jana, what are we going to do with you? So it was a woman.
You're going to keep letting me show up because that's what we do.
Is there... so a woman found him, a slow clap.
Yeah, I always love when like the guide boards and stuff are all men, all white men. Yeah. Yeah. Do you even know what a woman looks like?
It's fine.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's hard. Fine. Women are hard. So what was interesting is they did it across taxa in Australian species. So colubrids, elapids, viperids, and a python. And they found it in all of them. So they confirmed that it's like a basal trait. And it confirmed that it like a plesiomorphy. So it's in all snakes unless they have evolved to lose it. And there's no real evidence that they would have done that.
Why? Why would a woman do that?
Well, things happen. Like how many times have birds gained and lost a penis?
Well, I don't care about their penises. I care about ribbed for her pleasure.
Well, I think birds have also lost clitorises sometimes too. It's
natural
tough.
Selection is rough, guys. Does not always do what you want it to do.
Right. Well, sometimes you don't get a choice.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's rough.
Like we lost vitamin C synthesis. Now we have scurvy. It was just an accident. Right.
Oops.
But it's fine because we ate enough fruit. Now, so we have this. Did you see you didn't see anything. So here they are on a dissected snake. So they're
Can we zoom in at all or not?
No, it's a picture.
Hang on, I'm gonna try to zoom.
All the links will be in the show notes. They're a little hemipene-like structure behind there's like glands. Then they have confirmed to have nerves and enough blood vessels to both be engorged and have some sensation. The people who wrote the paper are obviously careful to be like, we don't know how much role the nerves and blood vessels play in copulation, but obviously that would imply some role. So nice.
I mean, this is pretty obvious to me, but I'm not a scientist and I haven't been studying snakes. But when you put a boy in and the girl wags her tail, like she wants it. I mean, this is not rape culture talking, guys. Trigger warning. Sorry. This is literally, she put a guy in and she's like, all right, I like this one. And she wags her booty. Like, for me, that says that there's want, and it's not just like copulation want. I think that it's more than that.
Well, you got to think about chickens.
Why do I have to think about chickens?
Because they do the same things. They have mating behaviors where they'll come and bow before a male who asks to breed them.
I know, I'm not talking about mating behaviors. I'm talking
about
but
they don't have clitorises. That's the whole point.
She's like excited and she's like wiggling. Don't you ever get excited and wiggle a little, Jessica?
Right, but I'm saying you can't assume they have an organ based on their behavior.
Oh, I can assume all I want because I'm not a scientist.
Okay.
I do not have to follow scientific method. I do not need a jury of my peers. I'm just saying the little wiggle in her jiggle is very indicative of somebody who is excited.
I think now we can say
pandemic
that is correct, but I don't know if... anyway, so the other thing that was interesting in the paper, not in any of the show notes or not show notes, the articles, is they talked about intersex snakes that, and this agrees with my both personal experience and what I've heard on the internet is that intersex snakes appear to have hemipenes but lay eggs. So these are just larger than normal hemiclitorises on a otherwise female snake, and they may not actually be intersex. They could not find an example in the literature of a animal with confirmed testes and just a hemiclitoris, because they're homologous structures, the hemiclitoris and hemipenes, and they're both derived from the Hox genes that would make leg buds. So that's why there's two of them instead of one, because the human one is derived from tail buds, which we only have one tail. That's why.
I'm so bummed about this.
About what?
We just get one. Think of what we could do with two. Just saying.
Yeah, but snakes only use one at a time.
That sucks.
Could they use more?
But I mean, they could use maybe more than one if they were creative, like a little Viagra, a little drinky drink, a little party in the hotel. Like, stranger things have happened. I don't know. I think
Lisa asked a question.
Figured out.
Does this mean that blood pythons have huge clits and that's why they're missexed so often? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. The ones that you look at the tail thickness and you're like, I can't tell what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That girl's got it going on, if you know what I mean. Lucky girl.
Sometimes. They did talk about and this is something we'll probably do an episode on, that female monitors have engorgeable and evertable hemiclitorises. So they can avert them like a hemipene, but they're hemiclitorises. So that's news to me. So the snake ones are not avertible. But I don't know how. Is it like sword fighting?
Jonathan with pandemic pythons said that would be two that men couldn't find.
I don't know. It's actually wild.
Well, men under 30 couldn't find. Some in their 30s they do okay. Men over 40, they've usually got it quite figured out. I might not leave home.
I got nothing.
I plead the fifth.
Right, and then the intersex geckos that I've heard about have always been egg-laying hemipened females. So those are just
they're just large clitorises, and people are saying
maybe
that has to be a
could
penis.
still be intersex. Like they could have like a pair of testes in there too, and a pair of ovaries, like because they're like a chimera or something. I don't know, but the versions of intersex I've always seen have been egg-laying things with hemipenes, not the reverse or whatever.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Loved it. It took the internet by storm. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Those tailed frogs, they were doing like challenges where they would put two males in with one female to see which one would win and grab her first and how he grabbed her. Sometimes she chose both males, Jana. Sequentially, not at the same time. So it was
in case you didn't know, Jessica is an erotic novelist, and that's
not
her
really.
jam,
I mean,
everyone.
but listen,
but she's forbidden me from giving you her pen name. I'm sorry.
I'll write something just for the show, like getting my first free ball python at the reptile show. Just kidding. I would never do that, but I might. All right. Next up, did you watch Proper Royals this week?
I did.
Reggie.
I didn't catch it live on accident. Sorry, but I did catch it. I think this was the day I had my finals and I came home and passed out for like an hour. And then I was like, fuck, Reggie's on Proper Royals. I need to go support him.
Also, this is the day where 500 podcasts occur. So
that's true.
Most people are catching them on the download later anyway. I'm bringing this one up specifically because of the tri-stripe comments. Did you hear that part?
I mean, I listened to the whole thing, but I was mostly
not paying attention.
What I mostly remember is how many really freaking cool stories he has about working with the Tiger King and how he like got to sleep with baby tigers. not dirty people. Like he was in the nursery and they were like running around and like chewing on his ears, and so he had to feed him every 2 hours. So he just like lived in there with like a sleeping bag. And like I have to say, I mean, he's real close to kicking my ass, and I kind of think Leviathan's gonna win the contest, but I would be really interested to watch a 2-hour Reggie episode because I think he has some really fucking cool stories to tell about working for the Tiger King. I mean, like, dream job. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, empirically, he would be the most, no offense, interesting.
No, for sure.
Hours,
I don't have
probably.
anything cool like that to say. Like, me
Yeah,
and my
I
little
was
sheltered
a
life.
trad
I've never
wife.
watched. I was a little housewife, and my parents didn't let me watch TV when I was a kid. Right. I have nothing interesting to say compared to that. And so I mean, I concede the presidency. He has got some way cool stories to tell, and he's actually like a really cool dude. A lot of us have become friends, and he's a fascinating guy, and I really enjoyed hearing more from him because he's super quiet, so you don't hear from him a lot. But go ahead and tell what you were saying, and then I'll tell you if I remembered it. But that's mostly what stuck out to me.
Tri-stripe was a weak gene. I don't know why that didn't stand out to you as like the most.
Oh, I did watch that, and then I was wondering what you would say to that. I actually meant to even like write that down. So what do you think? Do you think he just has a bad line, or he has like too inbred of a line? Because his keep dying.
Right.
Have you heard that before?
I've never heard that before, but he said he heard other people say that. I don't like disbelieve him or something.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all.
Since Tri-Stripe came in independently like 6, 7, 9 times, a lot.
That can't be a weak gene then. So he needs to outsource. But he said he did in this latest line. So he's hoping like...
I don't know what he needs to do, but I would do more outcrossing to double check. Because if there's an incomplete dominant deleterious gene, that's fine in the heterozygote, but maybe a little weak or whatever, or maybe recessive, who cares? He could be hitting it because they're all maybe in the US more related.
Yeah, what he needs to do is sell his visual male and buy a visual male from someone else, because I think
at the very least
they're all from the same. And I think he said that he did trade some hets with friends and stuff, but if they all got theirs from the same people, then he's still inbreeding the same lines. But my advice on that would be, you definitely need a new male, especially if there is any degree of relation, because I would be fucking pissed. And
if all
sad
your visuals kept dying.
If all my visuals kept dying. I mean, that's like a complete stop, complete reevaluation. That would be me selling and replacing with other stuff.
Like, Marshall, if you're still here, have you ever heard of some lines of Tri-Stripe having problems with the visuals? Obviously, Marshall makes lots of visuals, so his lines are fine. Buy some from Marshall, Reggie.
Yeah, I've never heard that, and I have seen lots of visuals. So, and I don't think that they're head-to-head pairings either. I just was crushed for him because.
Oh yeah, let's go to that point too. Head-to-head wouldn't make it better. By the way, people make the same argument about like call albino eyeballs falling out, just because. So if it's head-to-head, that doesn't make the line the cross stronger when you hit the visual if it's actually attached to the gene. If it's not attached to the gene, then you're just trying to avoid the secondary deleterious allele. So the combination doesn't matter. It could be visual to visual.
I agree with that.
It's just something that gets like bandied about. It's like a way to hack around it.
Yeah, but it's not. I know. I understand that too. Creme de la Clutch, welcome.
Marshall says no. He's never heard of someone with bad Tri-Stripe problems. And he's been in a long time and had lots of Tri-Stripe.
Yeah, Reggie, if you're listening, contact Marshall and see if maybe you can get a male from him. I think that would be the best direction, because then all of your female hets and stuff that are like half siblings to your male or whatever, you could still breed them without losing that time and that investment. And you should be able to sell your Tri-Stripe male, because other people that shouldn't have that problem, because they'll have a different females from it. So, that's what I would try first, is a new male.
All right, Jana, let's take a break from the news. I need you to tell me about aliens. Can you do that?
Dun, dun, dun! Movie madness.
Then we'll finish
time. News. All right, guys. So last week, and some previous weeks, you guys were creaming me because I don't know movie trivia. And 2 movies were suggested.
That was the worst linguistic choice I've ever heard.
What did I say?
They're creaming you? What the fuck, Jana?
Jesus, you can talk about sex all episode and I
Right,
can't
but
say
they're
cream
creaming
you?
you? Okay, keep going.
They were roasting me?
Yeah, that's better.
Jeepers, rough crowd tonight.
That's getting creamed, everybody.
And it was between Evil Dead 2 and Aliens, which is Aliens 2. And Aliens won by a landslide in the comment voting and the poll voting that I put in my stories. And I have a favorite for this movie Madness that we're going to be doing from now. For now, in the foreseeable future, you guys can comment below while I'm talking. If you have movie suggestions from 1980 on, if it's older than that, guys, please don't suggest it.
Alien is pre-1980.
No, it's 1986.
The first
one I watched.
The first one.
So these are my thoughts. Are you ready?
Okay.
You gotta love the future military. The beginning of the movie, they all fucking wake up. They have no idea where the fuck they are. They have no idea what the fuck their assignment is. They have had no prep time. They get out of their bunks and they're all bitching and hazing each other. And they're just like, what? Where the fuck are we in space? You know, oh, well, I mean, like, we don't even know how long we've been asleep. Whatever. Fuck. What are we doing today? I mean, that's so military. It makes me want to scream. So then they're like, you have 8 hours to figure out what the fuck we're doing. Here's some videos. Good luck. See you down on the planet, Nate. And everybody's just like, cool. Let's go watch some videos and get
a day in the Corps is a day on the farm, Jana.
Yeah, a day in the Corps. And they're just like, yeah. So then they drop these guys down on the planet with 8 hours of information. Give them all these big ass cool guns. They go in and they're like, oh, it's clear, it's fine. So then everybody gets there and then they find the people and they go out in this little car thing and they send them into a reactor with all their armor piercing rounds. This is so military. And the only person that's like, is this a problem? Is Ripley, who's supposedly like a from 60 years ago fucking pilot, and she's like, guys, isn't this a bad idea? So cool. We wake up in the middle of space. We don't know where the fuck we are. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. You've dropped us on this planet and told us to kick some ass. Hoorah. Oh, by the way, you guys can't shoot anything. Good luck. So that's how the movie starts, right? I'm sure you guys all know this if you've seen it. Of course, nothing bad is going to happen at this point because we've just told them, good luck. You can't use your guns. Anyway, all hell fucking breaks loose. And can we just say that Hudson's the biggest fucking pussy ever? I am sure that any real Marine wants to kick his fucking ass because I know Marines. They're badass. They're a little scary even.
I know Marines.
And they're not fucking badass. Like, he's like this little pussy. So it's pretty sad when the like badass character is, like I said, a pilot from 60 years in the past and a little girl.
So Hudson's like character, you know how he was like dick waving early, then he was scared, like genuinely scared, and then when he dies, he's completed
Chris,
a character arc.
Who's in the military is saying
he was
that
also
is exactly what Marines are. So,
right, but his character arc, he is very brave.
He was
as he dies,
fucking badass as he died.
That's called a character arc, Jana.
I know what a character arc is, but I was also like, why does he have to fucking run his mouth and be this giant pussy and then be the hero in the end? Can't he just like not be a giant pussy? There's a way to be like, yeah, I'm scared. Yeah, this fucking sucks, and not be a giant vagina.
Game over, man.
Game over, man. Yeah. And so then he ended up coming out and he's like this fucking hero, which good for you.
It's fine.
But also you were a giant vagina first.
Well, when Cameron wrote like a cadre of like military dudes and dudettes in a team, he was like, who's going to die right away and has no character arc and who isn't. And so you get a little bitty character arcs out of all these.
Okay, but I just wanted to put a bullet.
You just thought he was not okay. You thought it was so irritating.
Awful. He was irritating as fuck, and I was like, grow a pair. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's scary, but fucking man up, cowboy up. What the fuck? My favorite line in the movie was when Ripley looks at Hudson and she's like, listen, bitch, this little girl survived here all alone. No guns, no adults, no nothing. So grow a pair. Like, it was just fucking good. Okay, so then I watched the whole movie. It was awesome. I really liked it. Definitely could be one of my favorites, even though it's 100 years old. So I watched this movie and I'm like, yes, I love this movie. It's so awesome. And it's kind of late, but I'm like, I got to do it, guys. I got to watch number 3. And then it ruined my life.
Does it suck that they killed both of them right away?
So here she is. She's made herself this little family. She's got this sexy ass Marine. She's got this badass little girl that she's rescued. I mean, like, fucking dives down into hell and fights the mother beast alien herself, the queen bee, and then, climbs up out of the fiery depths of literal hell and jumps back onto the spaceship. And then cue the opening of the first movie. Everybody's fucking dead. Now I get it. Okay. You cryo freeze a child actor, and when they wake up, they can't be the same age because real life does not happen like that.
But they could have recast her.
They could have recast. They could have done anything. Like, she was my favorite character from number 2. Now I love Ripley. She's badass, but she's like constant throughout. My favorite character that wasn't Ripley was Newt. And then you get to the third one and you're like, yes, they're going to be this like badass alien killing fucking family. And they're dead. They're dead. They're dead, everybody. Spoiler alert. They're fucking dead.
You should watch like the making of 3, because there was a earlier scripts that had them alive. I will. And earlier scripts had them going to Earth instead of going to like the prison planet or whatever. And so it would have been different. And it was so bad, like during the script writing hell, like that's why Hicks's face is smashed in by that like piece of metal. It's because that actor wouldn't even let them use his face on like a dead body. Because
what a dick.
What do you mean, what a dick? He was so mad that they like would destroy all the character progression for Ripley. She got what she wanted. She fought for whatever.
He was mad that they weren't going to be in the next movie, so then he wouldn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree with him. Like, there's a full emotional arc in Aliens.
I'm telling you, I was so excited to watch number 3. I was like, yes, and there's no like 10-year wait because it's already out, guys. And then I literally was like, this is bullshit.
Right, especially since the sexual tension between Ripley and Hicks is unconsummated.
Well, and then they like try to throw you a bone and she fucks the doctor, but then they rip his brain out. And it's like,
right.
Really? Like, that's supposed to satisfy me in this like badass alien killer hunter family? That's what I was expecting from number 3. I don't care if they crashed on a planet or went to Earth, but they were badass. Like, they could have made the girl a little bit older. They could have been like crash landed and trying to survive. And the girl could have come out with one of those big ass guns. Like they could have fucking done anything. I'm so mad about it. But number 2 was badass and I loved it. Number 3 does not exist. It's dead to me. Also, Adam in the comments talking about how they're surprised that a pilot couldn't be badass. I'm not saying that she couldn't be badass. I'm saying that in the storyline, supposedly she had been in cryostasis for like 60 years at this point. And so her understanding of technology and where they were 60 years in the future should have been far behind where those Marines were. Like, everyone around her should have had more information about what was happening and what kind of a settlement they were going into than her. I'm just saying, like, basic understanding, because you were alive when the technology happened. She should have been the least informed there, other than the behavior of the aliens. But it seemed like everybody was fucking clueless, and she's just like, fine. I'll just tell everybody how everything works, even though I've been asleep for 60 years and technology should be like way outdated for me.
Isn't that the whole point, though, Jana? Is that the corporation sent someone, and the lieutenant was new, so he wasn't very good at anything either, very experienced, and so there was nobody to stop what was going to happen. And so even though she is also naive as well, she knows a little bit more than the other two dummies who are in charge at this point.
And that makes her character just that much fucking cooler.
Right. Did you see the director's cut, or did you see the non-director's cut?
I couldn't find the director's cut.
You dumb hoe bag. Do you know what a torrent is yet?
No.
Oh, God. All right. We'll talk about this later. The director's cut has a scene where she talks about her daughter in the beginning of the movie, where she's all like hung up.
Cheated.
Yes, you were cheated. I told you to watch the director's cut.
I know, and I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. I had to pay $5 each of those fucking episodes.
Oh my God, we need to explain to you the internet now that you're back.
You do need to explain to me. All right, so if anybody has some movie suggestions below while we're finishing up this episode, that would be helpful. We'll do another vote in the next few days. It's usually like a 24-hour vote because I'm going to do it in stories, and I'll also post it. Blah, 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 blah. So if you have movies from the last 50 years, comment below.
Make her watch Grave of the Fireflies, everybody. And we'll see if she can survive.
I mean, there's got to be more than just those two, because I'd like to make this a segment, guys. But nobody's helping in the comments. There's 3
second delay. I think you should do Grave of the Fireflies v like Princess Mononoke, because those are like, Miyazaki classics, but one will make you want to die and one won't. So will the audience want you to die? But you should keep Evil Dead in your roster.
It's still on the list.
Right.
Even though I heard it was scary. I don't like scary movies, guys.
It's not really scary. It's more like I don't know, like cult classic-y, like funny, weird. I guess it's kind of scary, but you're an adult. Like if you were a little kid, it's scary. I think it's just like hilarious.
Am I an adult? I think I missed a class where they handed out adult badges.
I think that movie is any kind of movie.
Yeah, 905 asked if
but
there
maybe
was a
they should be
genre.
In like pairings.
It's camp. Is that a movie or is that like a euphemism?
Yeah, camp is correct. Like a campy. It was like an underground movie. Then they remade it into Evil Dead 2, and then it still was underground. But like, it's so funny, weird. I don't know. Chris Hare, is Sam Raimi producing that dinosaur movie? Is he directing it? Comment in the. Oh, did you see the trailer for the new Spider-Man?
I haven't, but did you see the trailer for the new Avatar?
Yeah, but
oh, fuck you. Why does everyone hate Avatar? I
don't hate Avatar. It's fine, but it's not. Cameron's days of glory are in the past. Okay. Maybe you should watch Terminator 2 also. No, wait. You should watch Terminator 1 because it has the same actor as Hicks. I can't remember his name right now. Who's a cutie patootie, right? And they have a great sex scene in there. And then watch 2 and think about
is that like the Sarah Connor McConnell something with the guy that was the governor in California? Schwarzenegger? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator.
My brain doesn't work that you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger as only the governor. You think of him as the governor first, not as the Terminator. This is the most insane thing I've ever heard you say out loud.
I live to please, okay. I like to keep you on your toes. Just
it's like listening. You know that TV show where they like opened up the like underground bunker and a bunch of like Mormon dressed little girls come out and she goes to New York and meets like
Hemmi.
Yes,
my best girlfriend was like, Jana, you have to watch this movie. It's you. I'm telling you, she literally said that. She was like, this is how you were when I met you.
Right, you're doing better. Kimmy's did better too, right?
I am Kimmy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm Kimmy. Look at how good I'm doing compared to Kimmy. Okay.
There's a big debate about Avatar's good. Boondock Saints would be awesome, actually.
Boondock
I love
Saints,
the first
Double
one's
Jeopardy.
great.
I have seen Double Jeopardy many times. I'm a huge stud fan. That's a fucking good movie. Fucking good. I love that movie. I've seen it multiple times. I own it on DVD, which is now obsolete.
Yeah.
Oh, Wolves. I have seen that as well.
Well, I think they're talking about whether or not Avatar is derivative of Dances with Wolves and Last Samurai and Ferngully, which it is, but that's okay. I think Avatar is fine and it has merit, but like it to me, like no one cares anymore. It's been too long, James. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure people will go there and like it. But 3D makes me like obnoxiously sick. So I hate 3D and I hate that Avatar made 3D popular. So I would go to the movies and be like, is this a 3D showing? They're like, yep. And I'm like, bye.
Ashley Judd is fucking hot in Double Jeopardy. That might be why I've watched it so many times. She may be on my top 5 hit it celebrities list.
All right. Well, you pick from these recommendations too, and then we'll have a little vote.
So when I'm saying Avatar, guys, I'm not talking about like the wind and the whatever Avatar cartoons.
Oh, you
I'm
should
talking
watch
about
that though.
I'm talking about the big blue alien Avatar. I've seen Shawshank Redemption. I've seen The Green Mile. I have not seen Tombstone.
The hard part is like you need to watch shows, and that would take you a really long time to like catch up on shows.
It would take a really long time, but I do have a lot of snakes to clean. So if they don't have to be like your undivided attention, then it could be okay.
Shouldn't they be though?
They should be. I was trying to give this my undivided attention. So
right. I don't know. You're tough. All right, let's talk about snakes. Good job watching Aliens, which is my favorite like relaxation movie.
It was really, really good. I just should have asked you before I watched number 3 because it was a mistake. Mistakes were made. And then I was invested, so I had to watch the whole thing. And just the whole time I was just like, I fucking hate this movie. This is not what I would have done. I fucking hate it the whole time. But the
there's
second
something
one was
very satisfying about 2.
very satisfying.
And you're like, damn, we did it, guys. And then 3 is like, no, just fuck you. Stand in your eyes right away. I just pretend thing. 3 and 4 aren't canon.
Oh, good. I didn't watch 4 because I was like, 3 betrayed me. 4 just can't
Resurrection
even
is funny because it's written by Joss Whedon, which, you know, that's interesting in itself. But that's the only reason you would want to watch it, to me.
Okay.
Let's talk about snakes. Look at this on the internet. I found it. So this is a pos het pied, but it's obviously het pied. So this snake looks a lot different because it's het pied. When do we get to admit that pied is more incomplete dominant than not?
Hang on.
We should think about it harder.
Shots were fired in the comments section. Chris, I am a die-hard Firefly fan, and I have even seen Serenity. Fuck you. Go ahead.
Do you like Joss Whedon then?
I do.
All right.
I've also seen
if you go watch
every episode of
Resurrection,
Castle.
Since Resurrection happened before Firefly, timeline-wise, it's like the same thing. Like a ragtag group of space cowboys.
Lindsay's asking for an explanation, and I'm not sure what she's talking about because I was distracted.
I know. You got to focus on snakes now. We're talking about snakes.
I'm sorry, your husband. I mean, who hasn't seen Firefly? Fuck.
A lot of people haven't seen Firefly. Okay, so it is so obvious that the snake is het pied, even though it's 50%, because it's striped. And you don't usually see this like pentuple stripe on a snake. So this snake to me looks better than its pied version will look. And I think we should start talking about het pied not just in the context of champagne as like an enhancing het form, but in the context of these like bell leopard combo things, because it's so substantially different and frankly its own thing. Like I would want to make just this, not go for the visual version of it, because it's cool too.
It's very cool, and I love how it's like the het pied is like burned orange along the belly, and then it's trying to ring. I love when it does that. I think that looks really good.
Right. So why can't the het pied version like add a price point like it's another incomplete dominant, because it's like cool by itself?
I think it should be an incomplete dominant, especially with how it reacts with some genes and how it het pied, it rings out sometimes. I think that that's absolutely a true statement.
Own cool thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe nobody cares, but like I like these combos much better than like this. If it was visual, would be like.
Can you click on the? Dots. Can you click on the belly?
Click on the belly. I have problems. Yeah, so it's made a white belly, but it had a white belly in it because of Mojo. But it's pushed it up a little bit. Although I've been getting that. All my yellow bellies are doing that from that.
My yellow belly gravels are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to test one, see if they're het pied, but I don't know. I think they're just doing that.
Well, my blackhead yellow belly is not het pied because I bred him to a pied, and he does it anyway. It's just yellow belly is like pied side and corn. It just pushes. It can push it with blackhead or leopard or some other things. All right, I just wanted to point that out for the 100th time that I think the het form of pied is better than the visual. Oh, all right, Jana. What do you think this is? Do you have any thoughts? You might not be able to guess it. That's why it's crazy.
Super Enchy Pastel Fire Super OD.
It's an OD pastel. You're pretty close. OD pastel yellow belly blaze Enchy puzzle.
Oh, visual puzzle?
Visual puzzle. And this is the Snake's Garage picture. I'm
it
like,
looks good.
You can see like the puzzle feelings here.
Yeah, I was trying to decide what was making that and I couldn't. And that's what the puzzle's doing.
It's a very interesting version of like making a different kind of striped snake. But this is all really like busy and weird. So I'm actually like into it, I think. Like that Hidden Chihuahua puzzle. Like an empty back, a stripe.
No, and then it's absolutely
pattern hanging off of it.
Is that the most genes they've put in a puzzle so far?
I don't know. Marshall, write in.
Also, Richard, somewhere in the comments, he said that his second episode is up.
Is it up or is it this Sunday?
Oh, second episode of my podcast is Sunday at 10 a.m. Central. Is it live or are you
He was live last time.
Oh, so probably live.
But maybe.
Check him out on YouTube and Instagram. Give him some support, like, follow, all that stuff, guys. That's a sexy snake, by the way.
Blackhead, Desert Ghost, Clown.
Can you click on it, or is that as big as
it's
gonna get?
Sorry.
Well,
I think it's cool. It'll probably look better when it's older.
It'll look better. I think this is a world's like first. 300 pounds, 300 grams. Shit. No, 300 grams. It'll look amazing, but it looks fucking great. And it didn't reduce it too much. I mean, obviously it did some, but it looks really good.
Yeah, I saw a Blackhead Mojave Desert Ghost that looks better than the GHI Mojave Desert Ghost. Is that weird? It was, I don't know, what exclusive snakes or whatever they're called. They're in Poland. That one looked nice. So the Blackhead must be strong enough to look good to me in Desert Ghost at that point. Last one. Matt Byram, Pastel Lesser Leopard Stranger Clown. Look at how the pattern is dribbling off of the saddles. The striped,
like
now striped. Into
wax.
This little like, yeah, wax or like mushroom buds. I just thought it was very cool. Also,
spring flower buds on the naked branches of life. Yeah, I mean it's all right.
All right. It is brown, so I guess it's maybe not that exciting, but just the shape of like
the pattern,
the drip.
The color is awful, but the pattern is amazing.
I think we can fix the color. All right, that's it. Jana.
Oh,
collection updates.
Baby kitty.
He's my snowflake.
I have some sad news.
Oh my god, what now?
Probably gonna get some hate for this. So I made a rookie mistake and I killed my garters.
All of them? Okay, what did you do?
So you know how garters, you can like chop up their food for them instead of giving them like whole rodents. So every once in a while I like to do that just to mix it up. And like a fucking idiot, because I was tired and not thinking straight, I had like an extra, it was like a hopper or a fuzzy, not a fuzzy, it was like a hopper or a small mouse. Those have bones. Don't cut those up and give them to your garters. They'll choke and die.
So they all choked on different pieces of the same hopper because the bones were too pokey?
I fed them. 2 or 3 days later, all 3 were dead. And I fed other things, those same rodents, and none of them are dead. So it's not like the rodents were bad.
Are you sure you didn't like touch something and then touched it?
They have their own.
Like you touched their rodent with your hands and you happen to have like frontline on your hands or something, and then you chopped up their things. I'm not disbelieving that. I'm just like,
I didn't have
pulling it apart a little bit.
I didn't have any like physical contact with the rodent, and I cut it up. I have these like special scissors that have like 12 blades.
I know.
It's
all
weird.
3 dying is weird from like choking, because I shove tails and legs and stuff down the tiniest little, and the bone is sometimes like, because I'm chopping up the bone.
Well, that's what I thought it was, because literally I like chopped up like a small mouse and put it on there, and then they were all dead. And nothing else was different. And no one else was sick. It was not like they were all doing great.
It does suck.
All 3 kicked the bucket.
Right. I agree that it has something to do with that feeding, because it's too fast, but all 3 getting hurt from a piece of a bone in a food item this exact same way at the exact same time seems more like there's something about the food item.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
They're still dead though. Sorry about that. That was crazy.
I checked all the temps. I checked the entire enclosure. Nothing was different. It was definitely something to do with the feeding. So I don't know.
Did your kid spray bleach on the food on accident or F10?
Not to my knowledge, but I mean, anything could happen.
Well, for chicken bones, they can eat raw chicken bones. It's just cooked chicken bones will shatter in like unexpected ways while being eaten. This isn't what's happening here. So you like put little like leg pieces and then rib pieces.
I just
were chopping it up with the
scissors. I just
the herbs.
And normally it makes like little tiny pieces, but they were like a little bit bigger pieces because it was a big thing to cut up.
Yeah.
And I didn't care, like didn't think about it, because they normally eat like a big pinky, you know. And so I'm like, that's like similar.
So you used like a hopper mouse. I don't know.
It was like a small mouse. It was like furry and everything. But it was cut to pieces, like big chunks, like about half the size of a pinky mouse. Where's like the chunk size?
But your snakes are like pretty big now.
They're like they were.
So they can eat a whole pinky.
Yeah, right? They eat whole pinkies. They could eat 2 whole pinkies.
Right. That's very weird.
Yeah, I was really upset. It was sucky.
Holy shit. It could have been that, but I feel like there's something else going on that we don't know about. Like maybe
yeah.
Did you want a necropsy or them? One?
I didn't necropsy them, no. Like one day they were out basking, and then the next day there was nobody out basking. So I was like, oh, that's a little weird. Maybe they're going into shed or something. And then the next day nobody was out basking, so I went to hunting.
Well, are you getting more, or are you gonna like take a break again?
I'm taking a break from garters. That's the second time that something bad's happened with garters, and I'm just gonna take a little break while my wee heart heals.
How are your frogs doing? Since we talked about frog stuff,
my frogs are doing amazing. I fucking hate that I didn't buy flightless fire or fruit flies, because now there's flies fucking everywhere, because it's impossible to like tap the flies out without getting a few that like come out at your face. And I made poor choices, but we love the frogs. They're super fun. When I told the kids that I had killed the garters, they were pretty upset, but then we went and watched the frogs, and everybody calmed down, and it was okay. But the frogs are in my kids' room, so that's not really a great place to have flies. So I might move the frogs, their entire tank, just in case, for like biosecurity reasons, this bioactive has to get reset or whatever.
Do you have a pair, or is this a communal species?
The frogs that I have, I just got 2 that were in a cup together. I have no idea if they're female. I have no idea if they're male. They are the same species. There's 2 of them in there. One of them's super friendly and outgoing, and one of them is always like hiding in the back. I have no idea how to tell if they're male or female.
So if you have 2 boys, are you like prepared to separate or whatever?
Will they kill each other?
Yeah. A lot of frogs are mean to each other.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they could live together. That's not what the lady at the booth said. She said
maybe
it was
that
fine.
Species can. Well, they can live together while they're babies. When they become sexually mature, a lot of frogs will fight.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for garters just to kick the bucket, but it is uncommon for all 3 to kick the bucket on the same day. So there's an event that happened, whether like their water was tainted.
I still wonder if it was salmonella.
Or salmonella or something, because it was literally that food item and then they were dead. So I know that they can just die randomly, and if one had done that, I would have thought that, but all 3 when they were perfectly healthy the week before.
Weird. Well, we'll check back in on the frogs, see how they're doing. A couple weeks.
Yeah, apparently one of them's gonna kick the bucket. I'll have to look at see if
well,
I can
not
tell.
now until they're older, or if they're a species that does live communally. Some of them do, but a lot of the darts and stuff pair off and like get all sassy with each other. If they maybe we have a boy and a girl, and then it'll be fine, right?
I asked when I bought them, and they said they were too little to tell.
Right, but eventually, that's why I was like, "Are you ready to buy another cage if you have 2 males?" That's what I was getting at. When they grow up,
kid wants to get like a huge big cage and do like a waterfall and all kinds of like crazy shit. So we'll see.
Okay. All right, we're in like collection updates. People can ask questions. We have a little bit of time, and then we'll leave because we did it. Holy mackerel!
We did it. And it's not 3 hours, guys. It's okay. We can do it.
I cut down the stupid frog thing. I was going to talk about salamanders.
So what's your collection update?
I ultrasounded like 30 females.
And what's it look like?
Well, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. I was like really super
couple
worried.
At like 12 that I could like prepare or whatever. And I did, but
I was super worried that I'd like miss the season because I was busy with college and stuff. And then I did ultrasounding and I'm like, I miss nothing.
Yeah, it's fine. And then when I look at it, like a lot of my females don't ovulate. The earliest ovulation I have is usually in March. That's like a normal year thing. So they could still they're still building like in January to start. So even if they got paired like October, November, December, none of those fucking mattered anyway. So like the female that started to build after moving, she had a pre-lay shed. So she'll lay sometime in January or whatever. But she's like a weird animal that started to build for no reason by herself. Right when we came back. She wasn't like part of the season. So she should lay. That's like my first thing. But I feel like it's not attached to this season.
She's like her own rando season.
And she bred her son, so we'll see how fucked up that is. But
ooh, who is that? Who is it? Which one?
It's the granite gene that's in the Enchi. Tiger Lily is the mom.
Is Snicket's getting her son this year?
Yeah, I put him in there to see if he was interested. He's not. So he needs a couple more months. And she was at 12 or something.
Okay.
2. I'm having a hard time like seeing her phenotype in her babies this year because there was like Pen and Enchi and that like
obscured it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the rest of your stuff? When's it coming up from brumation? Oh, because you had to wait a long time because you're in a new place.
Yeah.
So like my shit's coming up like January 15th, but your shit can't come up that early, right?
I don't know. Because they were underfed for like a long time to get ready. And then they've been down there for like 4 or 5 weeks. I might just bring them up whenever I feel like it. Because they're not even that cold right now anyway. So they're losing weight. They're in the 60s.
So you're almost not brumating them. You're just starving them.
Right. So I might just bring them up and just be like, whatever. We're just going to do what we're going to do. And that would be fine. I don't care.
So in the future, are you going to get like a refrigerator, like incubator size refrigerator to brumate or?
No. They're not like, no offense, corn snakes, like worth enough money to put in a lot of infrastructure just for their needs. And they'll still breed without it. They just won't be as synced up or whatever. So whatever.
But do you really need 11 million corn babies at the exact same time? Like, do you need them to be synced up?
You need them to be synced up because you want spermatogenesis and
so you can
to happen at the same time.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Because some males will be like, I'm not making a sperm right now. I'm busy. Doing nothing.
I'm busy getting bigger.
I'm in danger. Right. Yeah. So that would be why you would sync them up, not because you care about when they lay eggs. But I did sell a corn snake this week.
Oh, good.
So God bless America for that. And then Sean was like, he's selling out of all of his corn snakes. And he was like, yeah, I put all my corn snakes for 60% off. And then everybody ran to his little table to go get them. And I'm like, Sean, you're ruining the market for everybody else. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So did you have any follicles of anything or just nothing?
I just did some like really important females this weekend. Now that I'm done with school, I'm going to go and do everybody. So the really important pairings, nobody was doing anything. So I need to go and ultrasound my big African import and see where she's at. Cause I don't think I'm breeding her this year. I think I'm waiting for her son to get big enough. And she normally goes like ovulates in late January. So, I'm hoping she doesn't like use last year's sperm because she hasn't been paired at all this year. And I don't want to pair her. But I just wanted to check in and see what she's doing because she's a big, thick girl. She's like 3,000 grams, even though I haven't been feeding heavy. And so she kind of looks like she might be building on her own, which would piss me off. So if she gets up to like 30 or something, I might throw something in there because I don't want the same male as last year. But I was hoping not to breed her. I'm hoping not to breed like half my animals this year. But if they get pretty far down the road, like you should at least have a say in what they're producing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would do it. All right, Lisa asked a question. Do you feed them when you bring them up before you start to pair? I'm assuming she's talking about colubrids. Yes. There's usually like 2 months or so of like heavy feeding. They brumate, they wake up, they get a lot of feeding. Sometimes they'll pair after the first shed. Sometimes it's the second shed after brumation. But you got to feed the dickens out of them during that time.
I just paired after the first shed and I did not do well. So I'm definitely going to pair after the second shed as well this season for my king snakes.
Yeah, sometimes they just ovulate much, much later.
Yeah.
So like you keep going until the party's over.
So we have like 20 minutes left. Do we want to have a party up in here?
What do you mean?
You mean like that party that we talked about before?
Yeah, but we don't. Do we have time to get someone ready? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, we don't have to get anybody ready. Just throw it out there and see what happens. Where's the spirit in that?
I don't know. It's fine. If somebody wants to jump on and shout out their favorite movie, we'll send you a link.
Or themselves or something.
Yeah, or whatever.
Anybody
I
that's
don't
in
know.
the comments, if you want to jump on live with us.
I need to go to the banyo, and you're trying to drag this out. That's what I'm saying.
You need to go where? The what? I heard bong. Sorry. Richard, you've already been on. Don't be a show hog.
No, I think the hard part is people need to be like ready.
They have to be home and ready and willing to show their faces.
Right.
How are your boas?
They're fine. Boas take a long time. It's like nothing happens, and then something big happens.
Tickle and cuddle. And do you think your IMGs are going to go this year? They didn't go last year, right?
There's only one, so I don't know why you're saying.
I thought you had a pair.
No, just one.
Are they both like the Xanthic or whatever?
Oh Lord, Jana.
Damn it. I'm sorry. I made myself look stupid again.
There's 3 animals that are het VPI. He's a visual VPI albino. Is that what you're thinking?
VPI. I see. I thought Xanthic, but it's VPI.
Right.
I almost said VPI, but I was like, that's ball pythons.
VPI got into a lot of fun stuff. So yes, so I'm breeding him to Twiggy, which is a het Jablonski super stripe first before the visuals, because I don't think a IMG super stripe exists. So for some reason that was more important. And she's in like pre-ovulation swell mode. So after he's done with her, he can go on to the other het VPIs.
Why would you want a plain old boring boa when you could have a beautiful boa? She produces some like really gorgeous stuff that's really inexpensive. So you should get
I
get one of those.
normal boas too. Because I think normal boas are pretty nice, but they're like,
what are the ones you produce that are like reddish and stuff? There's like that fancy male that you use. Am I making
what? Are you talking about the Pastel Dream Key West Motley?
That's a corn snake, not a boa. No?
Jesus,
Key West. I am talking about that one. Yes.
Yeah. There's no Key West corn snake. There's a Keys corn snake. Jana, we got to do the boa episode like 3 more times because doing it twice was apparently not enough.
It did not sink in. I'm sorry.
No, I like normal boas. Usually like compounding boas is bad for boas because they get worse. But I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I got another longicauda. So the only boa I've purchased this year was Airbud.
I don't know why, but whenever you say longicauda, it makes me so happy. Like, it's the funnest thing to say ever.
Why?
Well, I don't know. It just sounds really badass. I got another longicauda this year. That's right, bitches.
I don't know how to help you out, Jana. All right, Marshall asks, is the call albino the only one with the eye problems? No, the sharp albino also has eye problems.
I don't know. I think we're getting a no-go on the joining. Maybe we should let Richard in because he was excited.
Okay. Let me talk to them about something.
Talks amongst yourselves. Yeah, Emily and Ed, damn them. They're amazing. I'm not actually saying damn them. They're the reason that 80% of the children at reptile shows are there because they've watched Emily and Ed. So if you're looking for what to invest in, if you're wanting to Noah's Ark collection, just make sure you're an avid Snake Discovery fans watcher, because those are the ones the kids are coming in and asking for. So like the Blue Beauties, I mean, just the ones that they're featuring on their channels, those are the ones the kids want. And so hog noses have gotten really popular because of them. Like I said, the Blue Beauties, what's the other ones that they breed? Those big ass Help me out here, Jessica.
What kind of thing?
They're the big ones that they breed.
Snakes?
Bull snakes. Thank you. I have kids coming in going, do you have bull snakes? And I'm like, that's not a beginner snake, child. So yeah, they do a lot of promoing, and a lot of children have snakes because of them.
I didn't watch the Unfiltered yet.
Yeah, Argentine boas. That's another one.
Right, but they haven't ever even bred them. So are people like looking for them even though they haven't bred them?
They see it on Snake Discovery, and they come to the reptile shows, and they regurgitate the information at you.
Right. So what we need to do is convince Snake Discovery to like better things. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I'm just saying that they have the power over the children of the industry. Like,
right.
Justin
well, then
has the power over the ball
should
python industry.
Stop emphasizing snakes that aren't good for snakes. Should we force that issue on them?
I don't think that they understand the power.
I know that they do.
They know that the kids are watching, and they know that kids are seeing, and they're showing them all these examples because they have a zoo, and they say all the time, because we have a zoo, we can have this animal. But that's not what kids are hearing. Like, they literally are coming in and they're like, I want this.
Here's Richard. He made
Richard, welcome.
Hey guys.
I can't believe you showed up even though I hated on you.
The boa thing.
The boa thing. Yeah. So
I gotta fix the plan.
Well, there can't be two attention whores on the same podcast. So I'm glad you're starting your own podcast, because I'm the attention whore here.
What about this one? There we go. All right. Tell us about your goals for your podcast. You want to talk about?
He wants to talk about boas first.
Okay.
The boa thing. Yeah. My youngest daughter, Kate, obviously we had Emily here for her 5th birthday. And she brings Doug, who is, 9 foot long, just your normal wild type boa. She has been obsessed ever since. So she's on the boa train. My middle daughter, Addie, wants a banana. She wants a banana boa python now.
Like for sale. It's just you can't put that on Work Market if it's $100. You have to sell it at a show.
Right.
She's saying she has one to just hit her up.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to do that. But I told my daughter, I said, a boa, the risks involved in buying a boa constrictor from rando at a show is way too much for me to handle.
Mm-hmm. You want to buy from Jessica.
She doesn't get it, but I'm like, the last thing I want to do is bring some random boa into the collection and, just
that's why I don't have boas, because it scares the hell out of me.
I don't know if she wants me to talk about it, but I'll talk about it
in
a vague way. But like, there was a necropsy in the Discord about Arena, and it crawled into the boa's eyes, like it followed the nerves, and so like they found it in all these tissues, but the one that was the most interesting to me was that was in the eyes. So your boas can like leak Arena from their eyeballs. Anyway, go ahead.
No thanks. Yeah, so she has a bunch, and she makes really pretty ones. There's nothing wrong with the normal. I was just teasing, but she just has pretty ones too that aren't expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it's like.
Well, it's just she just wants a snake that's gonna look like Doug. That's all that matters.
Oh, okay. She wants a Doug Jr.
So it's just, yeah. I mean, and Doug's a great snake. I mean, he's super handleable. She uses them in her programs. He's a great ambassador animal, and that's what she wants. I mean, I'm like, okay, maybe we'll get a boa. But no, my podcast, it's the first episode. The first episode was basically me just ranting about a bunch of different things, which anybody that knows me knows that that's what I do when I get rolling. But the goal is it's gonna be my podcast will be a place where I'm gonna vent about things that are going on in the hobby, because I have an opinion about things. I'm gonna share that opinion. You may disagree with me. You may think I'm a fucking idiot, but I'm gonna share my opinion. I think there's too many people in this industry that have opinions but are unwilling to share them because it may hurt their business. you know.
Yeah,
And
you're
Yeah,
not wrong.
I don't
like sometimes it's not the business. Sometimes it's just like the amount of literal shit that dribbles into your message inbox, and you're like, oh, did I want that extra headache this week? So like that's why I may self-censor, although maybe we don't censor enough.
This is us censored, guys. You're
right,
welcome.
it's just, but the other goal is Wally Kern from Supreme Gecko was in the chat earlier. He's agreed I'm going to have him on in January sometime.
Oh,
And
exciting.
we are going to take a deep dive. Yeah, we're going to take a
You
deep
guys could
dive
do like a
into
whole
the
series.
period. Oh, we're going to have to limit what we talk about because there's so many things we can talk about.
That's what I'm
But
saying. You
I
guys
wanna
could do like
I want to take
whole
a
bunch.
deep dive. Yep, I want to take a deep dive into the Periodora genus, which is all the Madagascan ground geckos.
Are yours from him?
Because I think they're super
from other people.
Sorry. A lot of my stock has come from him originally, but I've imported stuff from Europe. I've got a good mix, but his channel and talking to him in person at a show, it's what got me into these little goofy geckos. So it sounds like I'm gushing, but I have a man crush on Wally Kern. I mean, he's just what he does and what he does for the hobby. He's super underappreciated too. His YouTube channel is amazing. The information that are in his videos is amazing, but it's not the content that most people are looking for on YouTube. You know, me being a gecko nerd, I love his channel. But if you're just a random reptile person, his channel is going to be boring as hell. But
his channel is really good. Like it's peak utility. You get like 10 minutes of like, this is the species intro, or this is the species me feeding the babies, or this is the species new setup. It's actually like extremely good. But I also was never like recommended it until like pretty recently. I don't know why. Like why? Because he should get more views, but
yeah, I absolutely agree. And it's just, I mean,
is it just Supreme Geckos on YouTube? What's his?
Yep, Supreme Gecko. Yep.
Supreme Gecko. Okay. And just so you know, everyone knows you guys have a man crush on each other because we saw it on your episode with us.
Whoa.
Just saying. You don't have to hide it. It's okay. It was beautiful. It happened.
He's the kind of guy. I've vended some shows that he's vended, and I've attended a lot of shows that he vends. And it's him and his wife Nanette are there. They have this amazing setup because he's got his geckos, he's got his isopods, he's got it all. And when you see the families with kids that walk up to their table, and the kids are super interested in reptiles, and the parents are like, they don't know what's going on. The way he interacts with
Ed
those
and Emily.
people, the way he interacts with those people, it's amazing to sit back and just watch him do what he does at a reptile show. He epitomizes what me as a vendor aspires to. I mean, the way he connects with people. I mean, he's just, I can't say enough good things about him. And I'm super excited to have him on.
Do you have a date yet, or just in January?
He's so busy now with his 12 days of Christmas thing. He's busy with his animals. He's a busy guy. I mean, he's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But we're going to get it done. And it's just, you know, in the last month or two, I've gone through some things with my collection and kind of questioned what I'm doing, where my focus is at. And
unfortunately,
I'm really going to double down on.
Yeah, you have to go through those kinds of changes and reevaluate every few years.
I'm going to double down on the Pictogeckos, and I just hatched out some more termite hill geckos, which are super adorable. I'm super excited about those because not a lot of people are working with those in captivity. It's just I'm super pumped for 2023. And now starting this podcast, you know, we're gonna cover things. I'm an open book. Somebody hits me up on Instagram and wants to know what would you do, or how do you do this, or you know, they want to talk about producing geckos, husbandry, whatever. I'm gonna lay out what I do. What I do works for me. It may work for you. You know, I'm willing to share information. That's what the podcast will be about. I'll be ranting and raving. I hope to have some guests on. I'm going to have a guy on Sunday morning. He's a local crested gecko breeder, just kind of starting this whole thing, but he has spent a lot of money buying a lot of animals from well-known crested gecko breeders, and he's basically going to make a splash when he really starts producing animals. I'm not going to spoil what we're going to talk about, but there is some controversy.
Yeah, show up if you want to hear what's going on.
Yeah, there's going to be some. I have feelings about how that happens, or people that are doing what he's doing, and it's just, I'm going to ask some questions. We're going to talk about what I call clout chasing and what I think it's doing to this hobby. So, it's just, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the crested gecko, or the gecko industry, the lizard industry, is underserved in the podcasting realm. So it's good to see somebody doing it, because I feel like everybody's just talking about ball pythons, and so to see other reptiles being the focus I think that's good for the hobby.
And there's a couple that have popped up in the last 6 months, and
I've seen that too. It's great.
They're good podcasts, and they're focusing on, all this new stuff, the sables and the caps, and, they're talking about that stuff, and it's the controversy surrounding the sable stuff now is just ridiculous. There's the infighting about that. It reminds me a lot about the fighting and the backstabbing that took place in the early days with the ball python market and the new morphs. Yeah. Everybody racing to produce the next world's first, and people talking about things that they're talking about things in absolutes, which we've only been working with these morphs for a year or two. How can anything be absolute? Mm-hmm. We don't know. Nobody's an expert. So
yeah, you can have things pop up like the caramels or
just, like I said,
the desert gene, and there could be problems with these really expensive genes.
Right. And it's, there are people that are talking about it. I'm kind of just sitting back and laughing at kind of the idiocy that I see happening with the arguments about this. It's like you got grown men and women arguing about the dumbest shit. So, but hey, that's me. That's how I look at things. You're going to know exactly where you stand, or where I stand on an issue, because I'm not afraid to say what I got on my mind. So,
yeah.
All right. Sunday at 10 a.m.
Yep, 10 a.m. Central.
Cantankerous Corlophus.
Yep,
correct?
And it's the channel is Creative Corlophus, my name. I'll be blasting stuff on my stories. Yeah.
Marshall asked, your opinion is good, but you get flack from people that think it's not, with no experience.
Those are the fucking Facebook experts that, it's like they've owned an animal for 6 months. Now they're starting a podcast and telling everybody how to do the breeding business. It's what you got to. I call them the cresty moms and the cresty dads. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You've had a gecko for a year. It's, I'm going into 6 years keeping crested geckos. It'll be my 5th year breeding. It's like, I've seen some things with the number of animals that I've produced. You got somebody with 1 or 2 animals saying, well, you're doing this wrong or doing that wrong. If, like, right now, my room downstairs, my gecko room, is 66, 67 degrees. And my males, I just posted a picture today. Every single male last night when I went down to feed, all my adult males, they are ready to go. They're biting. I put my hands in their tubs. They try to bite me because the females are producing pheromones. The males can smell it. They can't get to the females. So they're aggressive. I had a crested gecko make me bleed last night because he's ready to go. He wants a female.
Oh, man.
But you tell people that you've got your room that cold. You tell somebody you got your room that cold, they're going to be like, well, that animal's going to die. No. It's
right.
They need that to cycle and to produce sperm and all that.
I'm going to cut you off. If you guys are wanting to hear more from Richard, Sunday at 10 on his YouTube channel, this will be his episode 2. If you didn't catch 1, go catch up before you watch episode 2. We're going to kick you out, and then we're going to close up. Thank you for hopping on.
Thanks.
Yep. In the future,
Thank you.
We may be just grabbing people out of the audience randomly on random episodes just for funsies. So if you're a diehard listener,
Especially if you like aliens.
Especially if you like aliens, we'll pop you on. So thank you for showing up, Richard. We're going to kick you out.
Go for it.
Thank you.
And then we're going to just finish up here with some questions about filtering and stuff. Jessica, can you?
Were there questions about filtering?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to kick Richard out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. So there was some questions
Richard.
about, do we have to filter what we say? We should just say what we mean. Do you want to talk about that at all? The can of worms.
Just for like 1 second, because I really need to go to the baño. It was an emergency 15 minutes ago.
Oh, bye. She's just gonna check out.
I've thought a lot, because Jared at Forward Motion was like, you guys should do debates. Like, you should go get a non-tester person on who thinks it's dumb, and you get it on, and you should debate. And like, obviously, Reptile Fight Club already exists, so, and that's good for that purpose. So I don't necessarily know if we need to do exactly what they're doing and steal it, but like, should we be doing that? I have a lot of thoughts about, like, if you're platforming ideas you don't disagree with, is that going to make people like come to the marketplace of ideas and like come to a decision themselves better, or are they? I don't know. It's a valid question, but so like when you're like, you should, when people say like you should say literally exactly what you think at all times, I don't think you actually want to know exactly what I think or what Jana thinks, especially.
Well, so what we've experienced over like a whole year of podcasting, guys, is that when you're like brutally, blatantly honest, you get a lot of messages and people's feelings are hurt, or people hate your guts because of a guest you had on and you were like, oh, that's interesting, or yeah, that sounds like credible. I think I might agree with that. And then you get all these hate mails. So it's like, it's just such a fine line. Like, we don't want to filter ourselves. We feel like we're pretty raw, right, Jessica? We try to be. We've always tried to be.
I just don't want to, like, take away from the central message by accidentally like overemphasizing a point or whatever. Like,
it's
I would
hard
rather
to know.
have you like come to the dark side with me than to be divisive on accident, if that makes any sense at all. So if I were to if I don't mind the idea of a debate, but I'm not sure if platforming the alternative hypothesis, which is platformed literally everywhere else on the internet, is really that helpful to the cause.
Yeah.
And so like that's it. They're all in that spectrum of like, what percentage do you want to talk about fist fucking people? You know?
Well, and then like it's just like politics, you know, when you're green and excited to go into politics and you're like, I'm gonna be the least dirty politician ever, and then you're in it a year and all of a sudden you feel like you need a shower. It's like, that's what it is kind of a little bit in the podcasting world. Like, you get into it a little bit and you realize that you do have to filter what you say a little bit, not change your opinion and not support people you don't want to support, but sometimes you do have to filter, because you know, this is our podcast, but it's also about our business.
My husband has been working on this pun.
Oh, okay.
For at least 12 hours. Riveting stuff as always. Hold back, girls. Anyway, and so like, we're not filtering our opinions, like not telling you what we feel like, but as the more time has gone by of us being in the podcast and the more we've learned about like the natural consequences of what you say and put out publicly, and the more popular you become and who you put on your show. I mean, there's a lot of intricacies that go into it, that the more you do it, the more you have to think about. And I try not to, but Jessica makes me. Like, literally, it can be something as subtle, guys, as like, I promote product X. Well, guess what, motherfucker? You have now pissed off 15 people by just saying you enjoy product X. Yes. Because those people believe product X is the devil or whatever, and their friends don't like them.
Who makes product X, because they don't like you and they don't want you to say that you like their stuff.
It's like that dumb. It's absolutely insane. So we just try to ignore it. and speak to our convictions, I'm gonna go wee in the body.
Yeah. So we'll catch you guys later. It was a
Goodbye.
good
Thank
episode.
you,
We will
Richard.
see you
Check out
next week.
Richard.
Check out Richard on Sunday.
Go
Make sure
buy
you go,
Shane's leopard gecko.
Make sure you go to Shane's show if you're local. Make sure you're hitting up Snakes and the Fat Man Daily to vote Team Jana. Make sure you're liking and subscribing on our YouTube channel. That really helps us out. And we will see you next week with Shane Kelley.
Bye. Thank you for coming, everybody. 16 of you made it all the way to the end with the PP talk.